Good afternoon, everybody. How are we? We all mask-tastic? I couldn't help but making sure you saw my new awesome mask that my mother made for me. Isn't it beautiful? Very styling. Yes? And look, I wanted to show you that not only did she make one for my entire family, she made sure that truly the entire family had one. So thank you, Mother, for making Wilson a mask. We appreciate that. Wilson will be hanging out for the rest of our call. All righty, hope everybody had a great day. Hope everybody had a productive day. Hope everybody connected with their database and listed a few properties and sold a couple more properties and did whatever you had to do to keep making money and keep staying safe. I wanted to just throw a couple of things your way just to kind of make you chuckle today. The first one is this. Steve talked about new skills. Oops, sorry about that. Steve talked about learning new skills this morning, and these folks definitely have learned some new skills that I think might come in handy depending on who you're speaking to. Oops. It's kind of like you're on the phone, but you're doing, right? Did you ever do that? Maybe that's just me. I have never done it to anyone on this call, however, ever. Never, ever, ever. All righty. So a couple of quick things for us tonight. I think that, Karen, are you off the phone? Yes, you're off the phone. Good. She's a very busy woman, apparently. So Karen has an update for us that she wanted to share. Karen.
Muted. Okay. Remember last week we were talking about, or 2 weeks ago, forbearance. Well, we got an update on forbearance. I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about how it might impact your credit. Well, it is going to not impact your credit score, but when the lender looks at the credit and they see that you're in forbearance, they will not allow you to refinance. Also, if they see that the payment is zero, or it refers to there being a natural disaster next to the mortgage line that, you know, just describes where your mortgage is from, you know, the bank or the lender that it's with, and the payment, they will not allow you to refinance or to purchase until that forbearance or natural disaster is removed from your credit report. So although it's not impacting the score, it is impacting your ability to obtain credit. So please be careful. That's my update.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We appreciate you looking out for us. Steve, do you have something that you wanted to talk about, or I think you had some awards to give away, right?
We're playing catch up a little bit on our shift books, so we awarded two.
Wait a minute, stop. You have birds, really big birds in your house behind you.
Yes, I do. Thank you. They're good. They're,
okay.
they're safe. They're
Am I
friendly
muted?
birds. They're friendly. Yeah. So we have two more winners of the Shift books. So Lisa Bennett and Christy Velez. Yahoo! You got new Shift books. They'll be in your market center. So get in touch with Rick or myself so you can pick them up. Thanks, guys.
That is awesome. I'm telling you what, these people, these people who are getting these books, they're going to be stopping you in the hallways once we're back in our hallways and quizzing you on the shift tactics, because they're going to be so down with what Gary wrote about. Dorothy, actually that first video, I do want to give credit when people send videos. That first video was compliments of, I think, Kathleen Spellman. So thank you so much, Kathleen. I think, Kathleen, I think your comment was that came from a friend of yours who's currently quarantined in Kazakhstan, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it was Uzbekistan, one of the stands. So thank you for sending that. Dorothy Darlington also sent some interesting thoughts, and I wanted to just share a couple of these thoughts with you in case you've noticed any of these yourself. So I'll just pick a couple of them. So I just asked a 6-year-old if he understands why there is no school. He said yes, because they're out of toilet paper. After years of wanting to thoroughly clean my house but lacking the time, this week I discovered that wasn't the reason. 2020 is a unique leap year. It had 29 days in February, 300 days in March, and about 5 years in April. This is a really good tip for some of you. I think you've already mastered this. If you keep a glass of wine in each hand, it's impossible to accidentally touch your face. Kind of starting to understand why pets try to run out of the house when the door opens. I miss the days when we were just terrified of romaine lettuce. Ah, the good old days. Whoever owes you money, go to their house now. They should be home. And I think my favorite, this cleaning with alcohol thing is total BS. Nothing gets done after that first bottle. Anyhow, I hope that made you laugh. I did want to give you an update on your consent and disclosure forms, as well as the health questionnaires, all of those forms that we released about 4 or a little more than 4 weeks ago. I have been receiving some feedback from some of you regarding updates, and we are in the process of changing those forms up. Those forms were delivered to you in about a 48-hour turnaround from recognizing the need to getting them written and approved and out to you. And those forms were designed for a period of time that we thought was much more finite and not quite as lengthy, right? And so we're looking at how we can continue to make sure that we're protecting everyone and have it maybe not be as cumbersome as some of you are finding it. I know some of you are finding it not cumbersome at all. Some of you are finding it to be a little bit of an issue. And so we want to continue to make sure that we're morphing those forms with the current information that we have. The health questionnaire isn't really quite as relevant anymore. It talks about travel. And so there's things that we need to update. We recognize that, and we are working on that for you. We do hope to have new documents for you by Monday or so that are a little bit more user-friendly. Again, the intent will not change, and the rules around them will not change, and yet the idea behind because the idea behind those forms has always been protection and responsibility. However, the execution of those forms and how we're writing them and getting them to people, we're looking to make a little bit more user-friendly for you, knowing that we are likely going to be using those forms at least for the next 6 or 8 weeks, if not for the next couple of months, knowing that even when restrictions start to ease, we're still going to have some version of that. So know that we are working on that for you. Any questions that anybody has from doing their business today? Any ahas that you wanted to share from either the Kobe Bryant video that we never actually talked about ahas for because we kept running out of time, any masterminds that you participated in yesterday or today. Who has something they want to talk about or share, or a question they want to make sure that they get answered to while we have some time this afternoon? Go ahead, Dee.
So I did my first Facebook Live open house, and I just took a peek at it, and I have 202 views.
Ooh, baby.
That kind of flipped me out a bit. I can't even imagine it. So, and Ryan did it with me, and he had last night 70 views. And so he and I are doing another one on Saturday. I'm going to set it up later at a different house. And so we might have a new show.
There you go. I love that.
It's going to be
You just
fun.
have to have you need a name for it, and you can ask Carlos to help you develop an intro.
Yeah.
That's
So-
awesome.
I was really floored when I saw 202 views. I mean, I got compliments on my mask, by the way.
Well, there you go. See that? That must have been what attracted people. They were scrolling through and said, look at that woman's mask. What is she doing?
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
that's the key, guys. If you want awesome views, Jeannie, are we boring you? Oh, I see. she's already taking the I don't want to touch my face to new heights.
Oh, I should join her. Anyway,
So thank you for sharing that. I love that. And clearly the key is to have an awesome mask. But you know what? The real key, guys, is just do these things, right? When you just do it and put it out there, the universe kind of comes back and responds to you. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Dee. Margie, what do you have for us?
Hi, Rick. Two things. One is that I used some of the statistics that you had from one of yesterday's Zooms about there being 65% less inventory.
Yes.
And so I got my buyers to agree to the seller's price because I just explained there's no inventory, and especially in your price range. So they went with the offer. It's all signed off. And we're supposed to do the inspections tomorrow. And I gave them several inspection companies, and they chose Pillar to Post. And, she said, can we be there? Can our realtor be there? They said, no problem. Then we just get an email that said that no one can be there, and they're very upset because they took off from work and they're first-time home buyers. It seems really like bait and switch to me because they clearly asked the person if they could be there, but the letter that they sent said that the realtor has to just open the door and leave, and that the buyers are not allowed to be there at all. The only person that can be in the house is the inspector.
Yep. And so so first and foremost, I applaud you for utilizing those stats, right, to get the job done. That's what those numbers are valid for. And I want you to remember something from Matt. Matt just mentioned it to us the other day in his Zoom call, right? Logic makes them think, emotion makes them act. But you need both, right? And so if people are on the fence and it's all about emotion, what Margie was able to do was bring logic back to the table to give them a foundation to then make a decision, a logical business decision that was perhaps different than where their emotions were, right? So remember, you need both of them. If you're not utilizing both sides of that, you're likely not having people say yes. The second thing to address is here's what I can suggest. I can suggest that you send them, and if you don't have it, I'll send it to you. I have to just remember where I have it. This is not anybody's, it's not bait and switch. It's everyone doing the best that they can do. Somebody misspoke. And the reality is the reason they can't be there is for their own safety. And it's not Pillar of Post's rule, and it's not Keller Williams' rule, and it's not Margie's rule. It's nobody's rule except the governor of our state, right? He made those rules. And so challenge people to look on the other side of those, challenge people to find the gratitude, challenge people to find the excitement. Be so thankful that you were able to put a transaction together the way you were able to put it together with everything that we have going on. And the fact that you can't be at the inspection physically, when you're in the house for 3 months, you won't even remember that you weren't there.
So
Right.
are you saying that all inspection companies in Connecticut are not allowed to have the buyers present or the realtor present?
I'm saying that if people are following the rules and the guidelines as put forth by the governor, yes, that is the way it's supposed to go down, right? And so the buyers just have to understand that that's just part of the way it's happening now, and that they'll get a full report and they've been in the house, and maybe ask the inspector, you know what, for anything that's a challenge, if you could take a quick video of it, or see if the inspector's willing to FaceTime them if there's anything
Okay.
that comes up, you know, and carry the phone around and have them able to ask questions. I think it's all about everybody trying to go above and beyond to make sure that people get what they're looking for. And that includes the buyers to understand that sometimes in a case like this, they don't get 100% of what they're looking for. They just have to understand that's the way it is.
I think the FaceTime's a good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What else? What else we got? Hi, Judd.
Okay, so I just have a question. On our listings, what are the rules as far as the video walkthroughs?
Keep asking that question. What do you mean? What are the rules?
Through the MLS, what are we allowed to through the MLS, I guess specifically MLS related, what are we allowed to post?
So the MLS has been very, very lenient in terms of what can be posted and what's considered available for showing, which we're very grateful for. What they haven't really moved much on is the inability or the prohibition on posting anything that's branded. So if your walkthrough video says, "Hi, it's Jody Boxer with Keller Williams Realty," that they're going to flag that sucker. Right, and if it has your logo or the KW logo on it or a telephone number that's mentioned, so you really need to keep them as generic as possible to post them on the MLS. Other than that, they should allow pretty much anything that's unbranded.
So I didn't have Jody Boxer or Boxer Realty Group or Keller Williams anywhere, but I was in the video, and I got flagged for that.
Oh well, has anyone else had that experience as well, that they couldn't personally be in the video?
Yes, I got flagged in New York on the New York MLS for that.
Okay.
Jody, is it on your YouTube account that says your name even though it's not in the video anywhere?
No, they specifically said it was because I was in it.
Well, that's unusual because I'm in mine and I didn't get flagged, but you have to have an unbranded YouTube account, which I taught a class on, and that recording is on the Keller Williams Ridgefield YouTube channel.
Jen,
Yeah.
I also got flagged from the New York MLS, and I was in it, and I didn't have anything, and it was an unbranded YouTube channel.
I can't
Yeah.
speak about New York because I'm not licensed there. I don't know what they do.
Yeah. So I would certainly do a couple things. I would remove it and repost it and see what happens. Like, take it down and then repost the exact same thing and see if they come back to you. It's kind of like when you don't like the answer you get when you call your credit card company. I just hang up and call back and ask the same question to somebody else and get what I want, right? So that's the first thing I would do, is take it down, repost, and assume it's okay then, and wait for them to come back to you and say, no, you didn't check, it's the same issue. And you can say, well, I don't understand. I posted an unbranded one. What's the issue? The other thing I'll do on your behalf is tomorrow I will call the MLS myself, both Hagar and Lydia, you're talking Hagar, right? Yeah, it's both Hagar and Smart, and I will ask some specific questions just so we have clarity on what is or is not allowed, so that we know what the issues are. Sometimes those checkers, because mostly they're not humans, they're AI, right? Sometimes those checkers are just incorrect. So I'll get clarity around it, and then I'll report back to you, and we can go from there. It may be what Jen's talking about. It may be that you're in it, because I do know there's a bunch of you who have things posted with with your with you in it. And yet that's also not the first time I've heard someone say they got a complaint because they personally were in it. So let me see what I can find out and I'll report back. Go ahead, Jen.
Jody, do you also have your for sale sign anywhere in it? Oh, okay. So we post ours on a YouTube channel, and then when anyone wants to see it, we just say, hey, go to YouTube, also under Casanova Group channel, and then you can find it. So that's a way around, it.
No, I don't have a problem on any of my list. It's just on one listing, and it's in a complex where there's one agent who thinks she owns the complex. So my guess is she might have said something to the MLS or something like that, and she might be pushing the issue. So it's not, I know it's not branded anywhere. It's just me. There's no sign. There's no nothing. It's just,
yeah. You didn't have to
one
take,
solution for that.
you didn't happen to take
that, and that's to kill her.
or take over the complex.
There you go. Yeah, just do make sure that you haven't written your phone number in marker or lipstick across your forehead before you do any of those videos, because that can also, I've heard that is an issue as well. And no tattoos across your neck with your phone number or a big KW, any of that, right?
May I also give you one guess, because I posted mine successfully, and there are a few places where you can post it, and I skipped the first one and I posted on the second one, which felt like less threatening. It is not actually asking if it's branded or not, and it isn't, all right? So I just didn't put it on the top, but on the second line. So play with it. And I believe Rick is right. Take it off and put it back on the second.
No, I really appreciate it. I know it's not branded. It's not first line versus second line. Rick, if you're going to call, I think best if you call the MLS, because I think if I put it back up, I'll get the same complaint again. I think it was somebody reported. I'm not getting, it was only on one listing.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
What else? Anybody else? See how smart we get on these afternoon calls? Mr. DiBiase, what you got going on?
So in regards to Kobe, he said you always want to outwork your potential.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking of Kobe, he obviously was a person that thought his potential was limitless. So just put that into perspective of what that says. You always want to outwork your potential. It's like there's no end game. So what I took away is you need to work harder than you ever think you have to. And he also said, be a student of the game. He was asking questions of the greats he was around. So that was what I took away from that.
Love that. I love that. Right?
Rick?
Yeah.
I would like to thank Dawn because thanks to her, I actually went on command to find out that I had 26 leads there that I haven't attended to. So now I'm gonna tweak all Kelly and everything else so I don't miss the opportunity. But I posted a very good ad on command, and I decided to split it. $15 to Facebook and $15 to Instagram. And I got a 7 days I each ran. And I got 26 leads, 16 from Facebook and 10 from Instagram.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Can I share?
Of course.
So I did my first Zoom listing presentation today, including sharing my screen and slides. And I'd love to give a shout out to Adonis for sending me the broker metrics for the town that I needed so that I could use that. It worked perfectly. I mean, after about 2 minutes in, it felt like we were just sitting there at the dining room table. So yeah. And again, I said to them at the beginning, I just said, this is my first Zoom listing presentation. I'm going to try to share my screen. And they said, okay. And you know, they waited while I went into the MLS and pulled up and it worked out great. It worked out great. And thank you, Adonis. You were so helpful with that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a great job. And I love that we're all diving in and doing some of this stuff that makes us a little uncomfortable, right? Knowing that it's just a matter of learning. One tip I will give you if you're doing these Zoom appointments, it's something I've learned the hard way after almost 5 weeks of doing this with you guys, is the preparation prior to the call is everything. right? I mean, for 9 o'clock, I get here at 8:30 every single morning, and I sit and I open everything I have to do and make sure I have Marty Miller ready and our video ready and the music ready and the this ready and the that ready, right? And so it's all the stuff that's lurking behind the scenes that as soon as you're on the Zoom call, you have everything available to you. You can just bim, bam, boom, and it's like you're a pro. So the preparation is really, really key. Don't wing the preparation. It's easier to wing the appointment than it is the prep.
Yeah, and we actually practiced last night. I did a Zoom call with Neil and, you know, because I really wanted to make sure that I knew which buttons to push, especially for the screen share. I didn't want that to fall apart.
Yeah.
And it worked great.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
I have a tip for you guys. Loan Depot's been talking a lot about videos and streaming and all this kind of stuff. So I wanted to say a website that I've been playing around with. I know Christine and I have been trying to figure out how to do our bringing other people in and interviewing people. And there's a website called StreamYard that allows you to broadcast live over multiple platforms. So LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook Live all at the same time, reaching out to different people, and it will allow you to host a Zoom meeting live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the same time, and it's free, which is a good word. So it's called StreamYard. I'll type that in the chat, but it's kind of awesome if you're going over these multiple platforms.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a cool one. I'm gonna be on something called Blue Jeans tomorrow, which is my first time on Blue Jeans. So I'll let you know how that one works as well. Right, all these cool new toys we get to play with and have fun with. And one of the things I mentioned, I think recently that we were looking to do was figure out breakout rooms on Zoom. We haven't figured that one out yet, and yet we are still working on it because I know it's possible. I'm just not sure how yet to do it. I haven't found it in that back office yet. So stay focused and stay learning. I love that. What else? Anything else before we finish? Yes, Jody.
Okay, I just have a question. With everybody who's starting to do all the Facebook Lives and all the videos and things like that, has anybody had really good success at getting conversion from that, getting contacts and getting conversion from that?
I see head nodding.
I just had a client who I probably did her loan 10 years ago, it's sad to say, and she saw me do a Facebook Live to talk about the top 5 reasons to refinance. And she reached out to me and she's like, you know, I've been seeing you do this stuff for a while now, and I put her into process today. So it's going to be a $300,000 loan. So I'm excited about that. So I can say that I've gotten 3 deals from doing these lives. And you know, I get nervous on the cuff if you guys haven't noticed that. So that's my story.
I heard people being successful, and also I know that once you have the link and you post it, you have between 200 and 700 views. So this by itself, the way you can use it to promote yourself further, it's giving you lots of the exposure. So I see it as a success.
Beautiful. Anybody else? Alrighty, so as we head out tonight, I just want to play you one quick thing. It's like a 30-second video, but I think it's a perfect way to send us off to our Thursday evening. I will wish you a fond farewell and a great evening. Enjoy dinner, enjoy your night, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. And do give me just 1 second for this video.
What's your favorite Bible story? How's it go?
Humpty Dumpty.
Favorite Bible story?
Where Jesus made the water into wine.
Yes, that was a miracle, wasn't it?
Yes.
And what does the story about Jesus making the water into wine teach us?
When you run out of wine, get on your knees and pray.
Have a good night, everybody.